People are desperately trying to get rich off of their passion, but I don't think that is the right way to go about it. And I used to do this all the time. But at the end of the day, when you get to a certain point, all businesses, you're pretty much doing the exact same thing every single day. And the passion for it goes away. You need to have a larger purpose. Passion is about, I'm so passionate about watching anime, but that doesn't achieve my larger purpose. Purpose is I must do blank. Passion is I'm so passionate about blank. And so purpose is more of an action. I'm willing to endure X to get Y. If you're really just looking at passion of it, if you're only looking at passion, dogs are incredibly passionate. They are passionate about chasing squirrels, about scratching their butt, because they have such a short-term memory. They do everything with 100% passion. But do they ever get anything done? No, I mean, what would a dog even do if it caught the squirrel or the mailman? It would have absolutely no clue what to do with itself. And I think that's how most people who are trying to just chase their passion, they're really just looking for the end goal. They see the people that are driving the Lamborghini or living the rock star lifestyle or whatever it is that your end goal passion is. And I used to think like this constantly, all the time. I would just thought, how great would my life be if I had $1 billion? And I thought about all the things I do about it. Most people fantasize about winning the lottery or gambling in the stock market or just hitting it big somehow, luckily. But most people would be like that dog if they caught the squirrel. The fun part is thinking about chasing the squirrel. If you actually caught, you would have no clue what to do with your life. Most people would be utterly miserable because the reason why they think it would be so fun to have $1 billion is they see how successful or how fulfilled the people look who made it. But most of those, every person that I know that has real fuck you wealth, they are still working because they love the process. And why they seem so successful is because of all the things that they had to go to get to where they are. And so that is more so purpose, seeing an end goal and just doing what is necessary to get there. Right now, I'm working from about 7:30 a.m. to midnight every single day. That's not passion. I can tell you that. The passion wears off pretty damn quickly. And then if you are just looking at passion, I mean, you are just running aimlessly. If you have an overall purpose and an objective, all those things are trackable. Do you know if you are on the right track if you are just chasing your passion? Now, you need defined metrics. How do you know if you're going in the right direction? Most people just wander around aimlessly, doing a lot, but getting very, very little done. And I know this for a fact because I used to be in this situation. I used to do so much. I'd read all day, every day. I'd listen to a bunch of podcasts. I would do all the self-help things. And a year later, my income was the exact same. A year later, I hadn't actually done anything. And so you need to have some sort of trackable metrics to know if you are moving in the right direction. I mean, I would have a genuine question for most people. How do you know if you are moving in the right direction? Like, what metric is it that you use? Because I personally don't use income. Income is a symptom of me getting better at my work. And it's very easy to track if you're getting better at your work. And as a result, more people want to work with me. As a result, I get a lot more opportunity. But I'm really in the business of hiring great people because I am a very, very high-end consultant who helps businesses get more customers using social media. And the lever that I need to crank if I want to really scale my business is not getting more lead gen, because right now I have virtually unlimited demand for my services. I get text constantly at every single conference I go to. There is constant demand for my work. For me, it is my ability to service it at mass scale. And that takes a lot of people and very, very high skilled people at that. So that is where the trajectory of my business is going. And to scale that, it is going to be a very replicable formula that I don't yet know what that is, but that is what I'm currently working through. How do you hire the absolute best talent? How do you train them? What is it that's needed? First and foremost, it is having the income to be able to hire the top-notch talent. So for that, I need to be making a lot more money. And so when you're first starting out at business, you could say you're doing a business that you're passionate about. And let's say it was getting people more customers. I mean, I have a friend who just sold his company for a few $100 million, and he allowed people to sell products online through a website. No one's passionate about that. He didn't give a shit about it. He cared about making money, and he wanted a business that would make money and allow him to have the freedom to do things that he is passionate about. But when you're starting out, you're really just working all hours of every day trying to get your first few clients. And it depends on the business, but let's say most people now are trying to get into service-based businesses as their starter. I mean, that's what most people teach online. So that is what most people gravitate towards. And so with all these people trying to get into SMMA or dropshipping or consulting, whatever the hell it is, you can really pick your business. At the beginning, you're really just focused on getting your first few clients and trying to get things off the ground. But once you have something developed, and if you really want to start to scale it to a lot more money, you have to figure out what the lever is that you need to push to really go about it. One of my clients, Ken McElroy, he has a multi-billion-dollar real estate portfolio, and he has hundreds and hundreds of employees. And so Ken runs his entire business in 90 minutes per week. And that took an exuberant amount of time to set up. And he's still working pretty much all hours of every single day, at least thinking about work in the business. But to set something like that up, every single business, if you really want to scale, turns into very, very similar structures. And so if you want to make a real business and have a ton of money, I don't think it really matters if you're really passionate about what you do, because it's all going to turn into the same thing. And I do love what I do, and I found purpose in it, and I see an end goal, and it is a ton of fun. It doesn't mean I'm wildly passionate about it, though. And I think too many people, I could be wrong, but I think they are just trying to find something that they are passionate about, that they want to turn into some sort of dream business. And that's fine if you want to make a few $100,000s per year. I think that is very possible. I'm only really talking to people who want to grow and scale a massive business, because every person who runs a massive business, they're all in the same business. Pretty much, you're all doing the exact same thing. And that is very great to see, because that means if in every industry, if everyone at the top who is, let's say, a Fortune 500 company or on the stock market, they're all doing pretty much the same thing, and their workflow looks very similar, that means you can learn how to do that, and you don't really have to reinvent the wheel. So I'm not trying to be that smart. I don't think you necessarily have to be. I'm just trying to replicate what other people have done for similar types of businesses and doing something very similar. So my next step to really scaling is getting the best talent or training people. Right now, I have someone living with me full time who all we do is do this stuff every single day. He's seeing exactly what I do, how I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, through A to Z, all hours of every single day. And now I'm having him really start to get good at it to where we can take on more clients. And so when you're in the business of people, because for me, my limiting factor is finding the absolute A-class talent, you need to have a few different traits. I need to become a better leader to where the A-class talent would want to work for me. And there would be some sort of partnership agreement that they would be interested in. There also has to be an incredible incentive structure for them wanting to come on board, come on the mission. So that's what I'm focused on right now. And I'm trying to expand my income to where I can offer that super, super A-class talent unlimited money to get on board, because I am okay spending money to free up more of my time to grow the business. And I actually don't care about how much money I'm making at all at a young age. I am only really caring about how much money will I make 10 years from now, and how do I build something that sustains itself over time and continues to compound and grow. Because every super successful business owner that I know, I keep on using Ken because, guys, he runs such a good business. I mean, every single person in his office is super dialed in. Sorry, these guys are a bunch of renovations here. But when he goes on vacation for a month, and let's say when Ken goes on vacation for a month, his company is making more money after that month than when he started, because he's built a machine that is built on momentum and all the people inside of it that have the incentive structure that want to keep the company going, that are making a ton of money, growing the business, that he is almost removed himself from needing to be in the business. That is such an incredible thing to see when you build something so great that it continues to grow and grow and grow. That is what my goal would be. So I'm just trying to do something very, very similar as that. And what Ken has done is very recently is he found the people, like he thought who would be the perfect person for this company, and he found those people and he paid them basically a blank check to come. And how do you do that? You have to have the money. You also have to be someone that they want to work for. So that is the goal right now, because I know 5 years from now, if I really want to grow this thing, I need to be able to offer those people a ton of money and for them wanting to come on board. I've really deviated from the start of the video where I was talking about people chasing their passion versus finding something they can be purposeful about. But if you are aimlessly doing a ton of stuff, but not getting anything done and having no trackable results, I mean, you've got to rethink your strategy for whatever your goal is. This is another thing that all great companies do. They have trackable metrics that every single one of their employees have to where they know if they are moving in the right direction. But as a person, you should be doing this for yourself as well. What are the trackable metrics that you want, that you have goals for? It can be fitness, doesn't really, everything. If you make it trackable, it is very easy to know if you're going in the right direction or not. It's not, you don't leave it up to guesswork. Ken, I keep on going back because he runs such a good business, but he does not make emotion-based decisions. He does everything based upon data because he doesn't care what his opinion is on the matter. He wants the data to tell him what decision to make. And so when it's really just math, and if your employees agree to do X and they don't do X, you have to have a conversation with them. Why didn't you get this done? Is there something going on at home? But you're not making you the bad guy. You're making the metrics the bad guy. These are both the metrics that we agreed on. Let's just use an example of getting in better shape. Let's say you are 20% body fat, which is a tough metric to look at, but you can kind of do a picture on a weekly picture basis, and you can have the scale, and you can do some rough body fat percentage trackers. But let's say you're 20% body fat and your goal is to get down to 10% over 2 years or a year and a half or something. You could take a picture of yourself every single week and then see trackably what your weight is, how much cardio you're doing, what you're eating. If you track these things, it is pretty easy to get to the end goal. Pretty much everyone hits their goals when they track every metric of it. I mean, it's actually pretty simple because you're making the decision based upon what the data tells you. And so that is never how I thought. I never operated this way. I only recently started to, because that's what super successful businesses have done. I'm not passionate about it at all, but I've seen that it works. And that's all I care about. All I care about is, does this work? And if it does, I'm going to try my best to adopt it into my life. And I have. And everything has gotten better because of it. So I am just relaying that to a stupid video that I make every day for 1,000 days or whatever. And looking back, it's been a great time so far.